Good morning, everybody. It's a lovely day up here in NorCal. And yes, I'm bringing you that outlaw news again that you love to listen to. And this one's cool because this one is coming to you from one of our new uh, members of the crew, Ohio. Welcome to the club, Ohio, and welcome to the headaches. This one starts with one lawmaker wary of some proposed issue 2 tweaks. We need people who are involved. The State House News by Sarah Dollinson. Ohio state leaders have said that they should be able to find common ground on modifications to issue 2, which legalizes adult recreational marijuana. By one lawmaker is wary of some of the potential changes being proposed. Rep. Juanita Brent says she believes that Ohioans already within the marijuana industry, or those who want to be, including residents once incarcerated for cannabis related crimes, should be included in the conversations the legislature is having as it considers tweaks to the initiated statute.
What an idea.
Wow, that's revolutionary.
Stakeholder being involved? Oh, weird.
Okay, this we might be onto something.
They'll screw it up.
Let's go here. Let's go further. If you've been criminalized by cannabis, the best thing you can do is come back into the field, she said. Unless you're on probation, maybe, and could be threatened maybe with another very long prison sentence. But
just saying.
I hear what you're saying. One of her priorities, she said, is seeing that the legislator outlines a more defined pathway to recreational marijuana jobs, including through the social equity program in issue 2 that would benefit Ohioans who are deemed socially and economically disadvantaged. Under the current language, 72% of the tax revenue coming from the state's eventual cannabis program will be divided equally between the social equity program and jobs program fund and the fund for the communities with dispensaries. Another quarter will go to the addiction treatment. Of course, they always got their hand in the pocket of everything. Forced rehabilitation and all that, but nonsense. And 3% of the administration costs, according to the statute. But those distribution levels could change before the initiated statute takes effect. Both House and Senate legislative leaders have indicated modifying the tax involved is on the table. Ohioans have to remember that people who are trying to be the loudest at the state house are the people who are anti-cannabis, Brent said. We cannot have anti-cannabis people leading on what is going to happen with cannabis. We need people who are involved. We need people who have been doing the work. We need people who have been advocating. I couldn't agree with you more, Representative Brent, excuse me. Senators are planning to put forth a package of policy changes, Senate President Matt Huffman said Wednesday. Although he didn't give details on the exact proposals or a timeline for it, just that it would be one quicker than standards legislation so that it comes to effect before the date of issue 2. The Ohio Department of Commerce, which is set to oversee the program, has 9 months after December 7th to begin licenses, meaning the state won't be all out legal for some time. So this is a really good thing. I think I really support Juanita Brent and what she's trying to do here. I think I know it sounds like a no-brainer to a lot of people to have stakeholders that are being affected in the decisions you're making actually give input on the legislation and the policy process. But that's what people do most of the time. And I feel like in cannabis, a lot of times we are missing at the table. There's rarely is there somebody that's been justice impacted. Rarely is there somebody who has been affected in communities that have been overpoliced. Rarely is there somebody who's had a family member or a mom or dad that served time. There's so many people that you could pull into these pools and pull it and sit and have a seat at these tables where you could really get valuable input on how to create some of these social equity problems and these social justice programs. Until we start doing what Ms. Brent is suggesting here, we're going to continue to have these laws and programs that are created and legislation that's created that doesn't work because you don't have people that have been in the industry. You don't have people that have been affected by the laws that you're trying to fix. So I know this one hits home with me again. I'm interested to hear what the rest of my correspondents have to add to this. This is Luke Scarmazzo, your neighborhood outlaw, coming to you live, High at 9 News. Wednesday, yada I mean, yada I said, yada I'm talking about.
It's a lot of
yada.
Yada I mean.
Pushed off to the side.
Yada.
I mean, I'm off paper now. I got off a couple years after I got out of the joint. So I could theoretically, do this, but I was never asked. I mean, no one ever wanted my opinion about what it's like to go through that. And also, there's a lot of us who have run this race, and some of them fall on their face, some of them be relatively successful. And taking input from those that are most affected, including those that have run these businesses, um, can only make you more successful. Some stupid things have been done. People have made some major mistakes in trying to roll these programs out or run these businesses. And I don't know why they're not asking that before they even start writing these regulations. But as you all know, they try to impose stuff on us, and then if it doesn't work, then it's always our fault.
Mm-hmm. Very, very
Yeah.
true.
I think this is they should have done this in every state when they were legalizing, and get the community actually involved from day one. Like one of the proposals that we tried to push through out here was getting a lot of these formerly incarcerated people, the kingpins, if you will, and having them at either board member seats or at some kind of control position at the biggest cannabis companies, if they really want to help and they really want to bridge the gap between corporations and the community. Why don't you involve these people not only in the lawmaking process, but also in the business running process? Because you know what? They know the game, and y'all
Yeah.
don't.
And I
Rico.
think this is just like also just a generally great rule of thumb in life is anytime that you're at the helm of something, whether it's a nonprofit that you're building for a cause or a business or whatever, whomever your target like entity is, whether it's a customer or a benefactor from a service that you're providing, that population needs to be included in the development of whatever you're rolling out. That stakeholder, that person that will be impacted by your product or by your service or whatever you're creating, you need to involve those individuals because it makes your business stronger from the jump.
Yep.
Where's Nick Lachey
Yep.
in all this, Rico?
I believe
I
he's
feel
still
like
drunk
I feel like
dialing. He's still
there's the
drunk dialing
biggest
Jessica Simpson right
the
now.
biggest Ohio stakeholder is being left out of the conversation. I'm just saying.
Where's John Boehner? He's drinking with Nick Lachey right now.
Mhm. Exactly. They're having a beer summit.
Yeah.
Well, in my
with
experience,
with
guys,
Barack Obama. With Barack Obama.
in my experience going through this a few times, those of us who have records or who might fall into those categories of social equity, we don't get near the attention of the church lady who jumps up and screams about the children or what about the odor. I mean, there's so many other ideas out there around cannabis that get the attention rather than those of us who have been through it trying to run these businesses. We just don't get listened to or we don't get any respect. We're still denigrated. We're still semi-criminals.
Mhm.
And it's not going to work as long as we are looked at as the bad guys still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree too with you, Dale, and with Rico. I think Rico, I think you made a good point too. Is like a lot of times, we get these people who are super intelligent, very smart, very have a high business acumen, and they ran very huge cannabis operations, went and did a lot of prison time. And when these people come out, listen, they are still savvy, they are still sharp, they still know how to run a multi-million-dollar organization, and to be able to put them in places where they can help your company, do it. I'm telling you right now, if you employ somebody like that, you will see immediately why that person was so successful before. It's not just blind luck. It's not easy to run a multi-million-dollar organization, whether it's illegal or legal. So yeah, I 100% agree with you on that, Reed.
Yep.
You know.
I think these MSOs would not be in the position that they are now, retreating from all these established markets, if they had some kingpin trappers at the top of the food chain there. They would know how to connect with community. They know how to put out the products properly, and you know what? They would bring a lot of those folks along with them, and you would be successful.
And
But,
not to mention that they'd be a good face to mask the booth and have people thinking that it's good weed.
Well, not even that. It's just
True.
like I'm even if there's some corporate people behind some of the stuff. If I know like a person that
Yeah.
went in and served some time and he's sitting on that board and he's the face of this organization, I'd still go spend with them just on that fact
Yeah.
alone. Just because I know, hey, look, I'm gonna go just support what he's doing because I know what dude's been through. He deserves it.
Hey, we're
Right. It's about representation. It's about representation, right?
Yep.
It's like and that's that missing connection. And I was talking about this, Puff Daddy's been going through some shit, and so maybe his team and everything dodged a bullet with everything that we've learned about Puff Daddy in the last week. But I'm not going to touch that. But that's what I always
Mhm.
talk about, having representation. When you have black folks at the top, when you have brown folks at the top, when you have people that are or formerly incarcerated people at the top, you know what? That gives you in the streets, you're like, okay, well, maybe I will support this business, and or maybe I have a chance at doing that too, and I don't have to keep on doing this street shit. So
Yeah.
when you have somebody who looks like you, have somebody who's been through shit like you, that's actually running these organizations, that is inspiration.
And
Period.
I promise you, let me tell the listeners out there that aren't in the game and don't know, like, listen, our goal when we're in the street and when we're outlaws is to become legitimate. We don't want to stay looking over our shoulder or thinking that we're going to go to jail and not be able to see our daughters or our families and stuff like that. So the point of trapping is to get out of the trap. That's why we do it. So, just, keep that in context whenever you're thinking about things like that. Is, we the more accessible you make the legal market, the better you make it, the easier you make that transition, the more people are going to participate in it, and then the more it will flourish and do well.
Facts.
Yes.
Jason, you want to be super quick with this last
I'm
one?
gonna be super quick. This is an important headline for you guys. I'll be quick. It's a longer article, so make sure you head over to the website and read it. Give it a full glance. High at 9news.com.